Today we're going to talk about setting in terms of screenplay writing. So the setting of a movie is the time and place that the action happens, just like the setting of a novel. Some movies have a single setting, other movies have more than one setting. The settings might even include different places and different times or different time periods. So I've been referring to the movie Band Slam a lot. In the movie Band Slam, it mostly takes place in northern New Jersey in the present time. The general settings are a variety of specific settings such as Will's house, the school, the garage, and even New York City. So you can think about some of the settings in the films that you have watched recently. Now, when a writer creates a script, they think of the setting in two ways. First, they need to decide the big setting, the general setting, so something like New York City in the early 1900s. Secondly, they think of the specific settings for each scene, like the lobby of a famous hotel or a kitchen in Harlem. Clearly, your secondary, more specific settings need to fit with whatever your general setting is. In choosing a general setting, it's usually one of the first things that a screenwriter does. This is because the entire story is tied to the setting. The specific setting for each scene may be outlined before the writer begins or while the writer is creating the scenes. Either way works well as long as the screenwriter makes sure that the settings match the plot of the movie. So when you are looking to create a setting, you need to think of the general setting while you're creating your story idea. Choose a setting that matches your story. Think of the specific settings while you are writing the scenes, and describe the specific settings briefly so that we can add details later. If you get stuck thinking about a specific setting, just write the rest of the scene. You can always come back to the specific setting later. Using a setting that you know or a setting that you have created in your imagination could be helpful, and thinking of the audience when you choose your setting is also helpful. Be sure that it's going to make sense to your audience. So avoid jumping from one scene to another too quickly. The audience will have a hard time following the story if you do that. If a setting is a real place, read about the place so you know it well enough to describe it, and don't get carried away with the setting. The more settings that are in a movie, the more complicated they are, and then of course the more expensive the movie would be to actually make.